Okay. Ms. Farr,
Good morning.
morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So on this case, I think we were looking for service on the father.
Yes, and I believe the petitioner's had some trouble serving. He did call me for help. I have not had the chance to return his call. And so I need a little more time to work with him.
Okay, let me get to that one. Is Mr. Goodday on the line? Is Mr. Hero? He is here, I see. Okay. And again, is Jessica Davis here? Well, how much time do you think you need to address that?
So I'm out of town next week. So maybe if we could go 3 weeks,
Over to the 16th?
that would work.
All right, so I'll extend the order as it sits.
Thank you.
Okay. So Mr. Perot, if you want to reach out to Ms. Farr, you can contact her. She'll work with you on the service issues. You are muted, sir.
I tried contacting Ms. Farr previously, but I never got an answer back, Your Honor.
I understand. It sounds like we just hasn't had an opportunity to get back.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right. So I'm going to extend this out to April 16th at 10:30 in the morning. Same type of hearing on Zoom.
Okay,
work on service. We'll go from there.
That sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you.
We have, right? Okay. I know Ms. Farr, you're part of this one. I did receive your report and proposed orders that appear to be signed off by everybody.
Your Honor, the state is involved in this case as well. I just received the orders this morning and had a chance to look at them. The only request I would make is to add in section 22 that an administrative child support order already exists for Ms. Erickson.
22. All right. No issues about the tax exemption?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So what language would you like there?
If we can just add that an administrative order is in place as to Ms. Erickson, we're just asking for that clarification because there's no legal parentage as to Mr. Salas, but he is included in this order.
So how about if I put administrative order in effect shall not be affected by this order?
That would work as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
And then you can indicate that I approve via Zoom, as I didn't have a chance to sign off on the order this morning due to being in the other docket at the 9 a.m. docket.
All right, I understand. All right, I've added that language. Indicate that you're good with the order via Zoom. And was anybody else here on that case?
I'm present, Your Honor.
All right, good morning. So I have signed that order. You'll be able to get a copy of that from the clerk for your records, and
Okay.
Should be in good shape.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. That was a service question as well. Again, Ms. Farr, I think you're on that one as well.
Yes, betterly.
Last hearing.
Actually, there was service made on this one. It was made by mail on the mother. And so because of that, the time period for her to respond will not be up until June 5th.
Oh, okay. So we just need to extend this order out until June then.
Correct.
How about if we go to the 11th of June?
Back to
Tuesday after the deadline.
That works.
Okay, give me just a second here. That would be at 10:30. I'll extend that order unchanged to that time. Anybody else present on that order today?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Okay, good morning. So the order that you have will stay in place until we get here in June, and then we'll go from there.
Will this also be a Zoom hearing?
It would be a Zoom hearing, correct? And this is a permanent guardianship, not a temporary, so we don't have a time problem. Okay. I'll sign that order right after docket.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Where are we at with this case? See, are all here.
Thank
Well,
you,
I
Your
can-
Honor.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Esau.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Powers. My part in this was to prepare and file a objection to the guardianship. I met with my client yesterday. She's finalized it, and I sent it back to her yesterday for signature. So we're just waiting a couple days to get that from her to get it filed.
All
I
right,
would defer to the others.
Ms. Powers?
Thank you, Your Honor. I had an opportunity to meet with my client, and she is in agreement with the guardianship. At this time, she does not want to have any contact with either parent. I did notice that it looks like the father has not been served yet, and I did not see proof that the mother had been served with the full guardianship petition that it had been filed March 7th. My client did also have some personal property that's still at her mother's home that she would like back. And she has some medical needs that are on hold until she can get proof of her medical insurance.
All right, Ms. Powers, or excuse me, Ms. Barr, what can you tell me? Where are you at on this one?
So, Your Honor, there were recently some documents filed. I just had a conversation with the proposed guardian yesterday. She filed those documents, but she hasn't served them on anybody yet. So that service needs to be made. Looks like there was also a hearing set for next week on the standard petition. And I would ask that be stricken and combined with the next hearing set for this matter.
Okay,
And then we can go forward. I have not completed interviews yet, but it sounds like at least mother is consenting.
okay.
Others.
Ms. Risa?
I'm sorry. Did Ms. Farr say the mother is consenting?
Is that what you said, Mr. Esau?
No, we're filing an objection. She's not consenting.
I misunderstood. So I have
Okay.
not interviewed everybody yet.
Okay. So how much time, we've obviously got a lot of paperwork that hasn't been filed. I haven't got any of those documents yet, haven't been filed or served. How much time do we need to get all that taken care of so we can address this?
I would say probably at least a month, give time for service, for the service period to go by, the 20 days at least.
Ms. Powers?
A month out sounds fine with me. I would ask that I work with Mr. Esau's office to get the medical insurance information. And my client's going to get me a list of her personal property that she's hoping to have turned over to her. But I hopefully Mr. Esau and I can work that out together.
All right, Mr. Esau?
I'm certainly amenable to working that out with Ms. Powers. I think a month is fine. I was thinking 3 weeks, but a month is fine.
That works for me.
That works for me.
It works for me too.
Let me just check one thing. That's not conference, is it?
And Your
believe-
Honor, oh, sorry.
I believe it's the week before conference.
Okay, so the 23rd then.
Thank you.
So Your Honor, the court hearing for next week will be, we're not doing that then?
Correct.
We also are setting the next hearing out 3 weeks to allow us to get our results in for enrollment and treatment, and allows time for him to serve the other parties.
Okay.
You'll be going with.
I mean, I need to, you folks in the car, I need to have you, I'm going to mute you for a minute because we're not on your case right now. Okay. Sorry. So the hearing for next week on the 4th, we will strike that. So the next hearing that we'll have in this case will be April 23rd at 10:30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is, Ms. Powers, this is your case as well, it looks like.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And Ms. Turnbull is present. There you are. Thank you. So where are we at on this case?
When we were here at the last hearing, Mr. Trotter appeared for the mother and indicated he was representing her. We have not received a notice of appearance, and I don't see one filed in Odyssey. We also have not received response pleadings from either parent. Both parties accepted service by mail, so they have until April 24th to file responses. At this point, the court had ordered visits once a week. Since our last hearing, the parents have not shown up for either visit that's been scheduled. And that's where we're at from my perspective.
Okay, I see Mr. Clapp, I see you're on, and I had to mute you a minute ago. We were getting some feedback. So can you unmute your device? It should be at the bottom left or right. There we go. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
All right. And are both you and Patricia Havens there?
Yes.
Okay. So did you receive the documents on this?
Yes.
Okay. And are you planning on filing responses to that?
Yes.
Okay. So right now that's April 24th is the deadline for that. Hopefully you can get those done sooner. And we had previously set up some visitation, and it sounds like you you're not wanting to do that, or?
Well, you've had problems getting there, so just lately.
Okay.
You
And it's a long distance, so it's been pretty hard to do something.
Would it be feasible to do some sort of Zoom visits on
Yes,
this case?
Is this the Havens case?
It is the Havens case. This child is
Here we go, Mr. Trotter.
2 months old. The child's 2 months old, so I don't think Zoom visits would be very effective.
Yeah.
If I may have to.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Trotter.
Yeah, I was just hoping that we were retained, and we haven't had time to put together our objection yet, so we just asked the court to set it over 2 weeks to prepare our paperwork for that.
Okay. Yeah, and we don't have your notice of appearance yet, but I understand.
Oh, okay.
That's not a problem. I understand you're here. You indicated that previously. So they've got until April 24th. Do we want to go 2 weeks, or do you want to go farther than that?
I would ask that we just go to April 23rd, because we've been coming back every 2 weeks waiting for the parent's position, and this way we'll make sure we're at that point.
Let me just check here. I think there was some concern with that date with my client. That's why I was just conferring with her on the phone here. Can we?
You want to go the 19th?
I think she would prefer it 2 weeks.
Given
there's some things she needs to work on her end that will require us to go sooner than the April 23rd date.
Okay. Well, I have no problem putting on it for the 12th. That would, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong spot here. I apologize. Getting the wrong place here.
Okay.
So the 2 weeks would be the 9th.
Sure.
So April 9th.
And then I would request, right now visits have been every Sunday at 1 o'clock. That still works for my client, except this Sunday they have family plans given the holiday. So I'd ask, I can send over an order extending, and can we do a visit this Saturday instead of Sunday, and then go back to the Sundays at 1 p.m.
And then I have a request too, Your Honor.
Okay.
It appears that the current order reflects that the visitation is to be agreed upon by the parties.
Mm-hmm.
And my client would like more visitation, but she's been unable to arrange that with the other party. There's some, obviously, I think it was spoken earlier that there's some issues with the distance between the parties, one in Astoria and one in Goldendale, Washington. So I think that's creating some issues, but my client would like more frequent visits.
Your Honor, the initial immediate order had visitation as agreed, but when we entered the order extending on March 13th, the court changed it to a set time, Sundays at 1 p.m., because there had been a lot of problems communicating back and forth about visitation. So we would ask, at least for the next 2 weeks, that it be once a week. And as mentioned previously, the parents have not taken advantage of any visitation since our last hearing.
All right. I think until I see all the responses together and our visitor has an opportunity to kind of reach out to folks and get a little more information, probably keeping it where it's at. Can you work with the change for this weekend for Saturday instead of Sunday?
Ms. Havens, is that going to work for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So Ms. Powers, if you want to put that in your order, I'll approve that. We'll go out 2 weeks to the 9th of April, and then depending on where we're at on all of the responses, and this one I believe is Ms. Turnbull. Yeah, Ms. Turnbull.
Yes.
Will you have opportunity to speak with everybody by then, do you think?
Well, I should. I've reached out to mother and father twice, haven't received any response, although mother did text me this morning that she'd be willing to talk to me after the hearing today. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to talk to mom and dad after, but I have been in contact with Ms. Havens in regards to her and to Remy. So that's moving forward.
So maybe Mr. Trotter, you can help facilitate that and we'll get that. So when we come back here in 2 weeks, when hopefully move something forward, we're certainly not trying to drag our feet on this thing. It's just a lot of moving parts.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay.
Thank
so
you.
Ms. Powers, you'll do an order on that to April 9th at 10:30.
Yes, I will.
And again, electronic is fine on that. And we will be back in 2 weeks.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe. And Ms. Powers.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm here representing the petitioners, the Pedens. Ms. Peden is present in my office with me. We're here on the show cause hearing. The mother has finally been served in this action. So this is the first hearing since the mother has been served.
And is the mother present today? Let me see.
I see her on the Zoom as Monique Barnes.
All right. Monique Barnes, can you hear us?
What was that?
There you go. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can now.
Okay. So did you receive some paperwork in this case?
I just received some paperwork, yes.
Okay. So my first question, are you objecting to what's being requested today?
Well, I don't know if I'm objecting, but I certainly don't like how everything's been worded in there. And I would like to get the opportunity to be able to put in some of my paperwork so I can prove some things. And I'd also like to get an attorney if I could.
Okay. And are you currently employed, ma'am?
I have about 6 hours a month right now.
Okay, that tells me you would qualify. So you would like to have an attorney appointed, is that right?
Yes, please.
Okay,
I'd just like to discuss with him what,
understood. Yeah,
everything.
Not a problem on that. So we'll appoint an attorney for mother. Sounds like dad has consented, if I recall, looking through this previously.
That's correct. The father has filed a consent that was filed February 27th.
Okay.
And
so,
Your Honor, Alana would also like an attorney.
Okay. So we need an attorney for mom and for the child. I'll be able to do that right after this docket. I don't have the names in front of me, but our court administration will get off the list that we have, get people on that. I'll get orders signed. So we'll get that information out as quickly as we can. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that sometimes is a bit of a challenge. We have a shortage of attorneys, unfortunately, but so I guess what I'm thinking about is how far to set this out. Is there, and I didn't dig too deeply in here because I didn't know mom had been served. Are there any visits happening in this case, or is that an issue?
There are not any visits happening currently.
Okay.
I can inform the court. The court had signed an order on February 28th withholding documents and pleadings from the child to try to protect her. Over the weekend, the mother texted copies of all the pleadings to the child that had been withheld by court order. And then there was an issue yesterday with the mother texting child that she was going to pick her up from the school and needed to keep it secret. So there has been some things happening that are causing distress to the child right now.
Okay. So, ma'am, until we get some court orders on this case, I do need to have you not do those kinds of things, particularly either letting the child know any documents that are filed in this case that has been stopped by the court at this point. Where we'll be appointing her an attorney. They certainly could request that to be changed if that's what, and if that and the guardian recommends that. But at this point, we're trying to keep her a little out of the middle of all this.
Right, Your Honor, I had not read the part that said that she was supposed to be kept out of it until I had messaged and then I unsent the messages as soon as I found out. So
okay. So and I'm not upset. I just want to make sure you understand where we're at on the case. So I guess the other thing, and we can't have you telling her you're going to pick her up at school or anything like that. You need to work with the guardian if you want to have some contact. Is there any objection to, I guess, just innocuous text to the child? I don't know that I saw that any restraint on that, did I? Maybe I did.
I don't know if Ms. Turnbull could weigh in. I know that the communications that happened this weekend were upsetting to the child. And so I would be hesitant, but I don't know if Ms. Turnbull could weigh in.
Ms. Turnbull?
Well, yeah. One of my concerns is mom's drug use, and I think my concern is whether or not she's able to manage her communication if she's under the influence. I think Alana is, I do think she was very distraught over the weekend, and whether, I think those communications maybe ought to be supervised at this point.
Okay. Well, I think what I'm gonna say, ma'am, is given that we have a 12-year-old here, so she probably doesn't need to be in the middle of all of this. I understand you may have desire to have some contact right now. I think I'm gonna not allow that until we get a little farther in the case and get some more information. We will get you an attorney appointed, and they'll be able to bring your concerns and bring your request to the court. Let's see here. So how much, I guess, do we want 2 weeks on this one or 3?
I would lean towards 3 because if we're just getting attorneys appointed, they're going to need a little bit of time to get up to speed.
It's kind of my thought. Ms. Turnbull, is that?
That's fine.
Okay. On the order, Ms. Powers, you want to prepare an order on that one as well?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Would your client have any objection to if the mother wants to reach out to the guardian and then if it's an agreement that there could be some contact, she could kind of monitor that and see if that is appropriate?
Give me 1 second to find out.
Okay.
Also, Your Honor, on April 16th, is that at 10:30 in the morning again?
Yes, it would be. It'd be just like this on a Zoom hearing.
My clients are fine with that.
Okay. So, ma'am, if you do want to reach out, go through the guardians, and if they're comfortable with how you're doing and what your goal is, and they may be able to listen in or hear that would at least allow some contact in between now and the 16th. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we'll be back on the 16th, and I'll await Ms. Powers. You'll do an order on that, and that again can be electronic.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Ms. Farr.
Yes.
I think we were looking for service issues on this one.
Right. And so there were, on this one, there were also recent pleadings filed, and service has not been made on those pleadings. I just spoke with the proposed guardian about this yesterday.
Okay. I don't have anything. Well, I've got some documents that were filed on I have a copy of something on the 22nd.
Mhm.
That's just completion of the training.
I think there were other documents filed. I was just trying to pull it up.
It was on January 30th, I believe, and it was temporary guardianship for 60 days through Warren Fletcher.
Hmm.
And then I also have not been interviewed yet. I don't know if my ex-husband has been interviewed.
Okay. Yeah, let me see this one. Just a second here. So one is, and Lamar, you are the mother?
Yes.
Okay.
And
And
my guardianship petition was filed. And the Clark County Sheriff's Office has been hired. Father has been served. Mother is yet to be served.
The sheriff's office just called me yesterday and left me a message. I texted her this morning, so we're going to be getting together hopefully this afternoon. I'm at work, so.
okay. And is Father here today?
No.
Okay. So, Ms. Fletcher, you haven't seen any, or I'm talking to Lawana Fletcher, you haven't seen any of the paperwork yet?
I just have the original paperwork that was filed on the 30th of January. I haven't been served the second portion yet. I am in contact with the sheriff's office. She called me and left me a message yesterday.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, is this your first time before the court on this case?
No, I've been here for every single one.
Okay, I apologize. I see a lot of these cases. I don't remember everybody's name.
It's totally fine. You're
okay. Did we address you about possibility of an attorney, or were you requesting one, or?
No, the last that I heard, I just needed to be interviewed. That was about a month ago, and I just haven't received communications on that at all yet. So I was requesting, obviously, postponement until I can have that.
Okay, okay. So, Ms. Spar, how much time do you think you're going to need to get interviews, and we can hopefully have her paperwork in the next day or so?
Right. And so what I was attempting to say was, so there was documents filed mid-March, March 14th, and those documents need to be served on all the parties. And that's what I spoke with the proposed guardian about yesterday. And so probably a month for me to complete interviews and get a report in. And that will also give the 20 days to go by for service once service is made.
So would that be the 23rd then?
That would be the 23rd.
Okay.
And that would
be that on the 9th is no longer.
Sorry, I had two people talking there. I could only get one.
Go ahead, Lori.
So the hearing set on the 9th at 10:30, that is no longer.
Let me see what that is.
It looks like that was set to approve the petition, Your Honor. So on the standard petition that was filed March 14th. So yes, that should be stricken.
Right. So that hearing would not happen. We've got to get everybody all their paperwork before we can have that hearing. So that hearing may happen on the 23rd, but at this point we'll strike the one on the 9th. So you won't need to be here for that. We'll set a new hearing April 23rd at 10:30, and that's a Zoom hearing like this. And then hopefully we'll be at a place we can move forward then.
And then I also wanted to let the court know, I am currently very pregnant and due on the 20th of April. So obviously I would be in contact with you guys if I am in the hospital or in labor at that time.
Okay. If you can let the guardian know if there's a problem with you appearing, we can certainly reschedule.
Yeah,
That's not a
we're in
problem.
connection, so that won't be a problem.
Yeah, we can certainly accommodate whatever timelines you need for that. So.
Okay.
And Ms. Fletcher, please feel free to call me if you don't hear from me.
Oh, okay. I just need to know who I would need to contact. I don't have any of your information, so.
I can give you my number real quick.
I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'll extend the order as is to the 23rd of April at 10:30, and we'll be back at that time.
Thank you very much.
I see
Thank you,
Mr. Black, I believe, is present,
Ms. Wenzel?
and Melissa is as well. And is Alicia with us? Don't see her on my list. So we had a hearing, which I believe was Monday, and I had a conference hearing with Judge, just a minute here, which judge was that? I believe it was the judge out of California. And based on, that was Judge Santana out of California, excuse me. Based on the fact that there is or was a dissolution that was entered in California, which gives California ongoing continuing jurisdiction on anything having to do with custody of Bailey. This court in Cowlitz County, Washington, does not have jurisdiction to move forward. We discussed it at some length, and Judge Santana did not want to waive jurisdiction. And for the UCCJEA, they have jurisdiction. So at this point, I'll be entering I can't proceed here. If we're going to do anything further, it'll need to happen in California. So you may want to get some legal advice if you wish to proceed on the process. We just can't do it here.
Yes, so we are going to go ahead and proceed filing in California, as well as the opportunity for Bailey's working with an advocate right now, and wants to seek her own minor counsel. So they will be cross-referencing her to another program local in California. We're proposing at this time, Your Honor, that you put a temporary order into place, possibly for about 4 weeks, so that way we could proceed in California, file all documents that are necessary, and so that way Bailey can continue to be provided care and seek counsel.
So check here. Mr. Black, any objection to leaving in place the essentially a temporary order, which would be an emergency jurisdiction, since she's here without somebody to kind of take care of her until they can get paperwork filed in California?
Well, if it's going to be down here, I think everything should happen down here.
Well, it will. We wouldn't be ordering anything other than giving Melissa Wenzel the ability to help your daughter do what she may need to do to affect whatever she has to do here.
We would be proceeding with everything in Sutter County as proposed by the judge yesterday, because I did sit in on that hearing. And so I'm just asking for the timeline to be able to be accommodated, because Bailey would like to have her own minors representation, as well as I did contact the courts there, whether we choose to be able to facilitate with an emergency ex parte hearing. That could take some time on their calendar, as well as if we're not granted the time for an emergency ex parte hearing, their calendar is out about 4 to 6 weeks. So that's why I'm asking that you grant temporarily for that time. And then Bailey, we will return to California. She can get established with her own personal advocate and minors counsel to be assigned, and the documents to be filed out of Sutter County.
Ms. Farr, do you see any issue with that? I know you're pretty much done on the case at this point, but
I am, and I actually talked with Father this morning, and he understands that Bailey needs some protection in place. At least he relayed that to me, until things can proceed further in California. I think it's appropriate to have an emergency order in place, providing her some kind of care, especially with the mental health issues that she has, until the California court can hear the reasons why a guardianship should be put in place.
okay. Is there contact going on between Mr. Black and Bailey at this point?
So Mr. Black says that he contacts her daily by text to let her know that he is there for her. my understanding is that Bailey doesn't want contact and doesn't respond. Same thing with the grandmother. I understand that the grandmother who lives in California also may be filing a petition for guardianship. Bailey does not want to live with the grandmother either. I know that there's some family issues with Miss Wenzel. Without getting into what those are, because I don't think that that has anything to do with what's going on right now. I just think that the child does need some kind of adult, an adult in charge of her that has decision making, especially because of her mental health. She's very vulnerable right now.
All right. Well, I think what I'm inclined to do, we will be dismissing this case, not today, just simply because of the circumstances. I'll extend the emergency order. I'm not going to restrict Mr. Black if he wants to send her texts, as long as those are appropriate. I think it's not bad for her to know he's out there and is concerned. And what my thought is, given the timeline in California, they seem, my suspicion is, as long as if they know that jurisdiction is there and the orders will be ending here, they'll probably do what they can to accommodate it. I think what I'll do is I'm going to extend this out to the 30th, which is the end of next month. That order will, at that time, I'll enter a dismissal order on that docket. So let California know that you've got a deadline to get things moving down there.
That's April 30th, Your Honor.
Oh, that is judicial conference. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to the 7th of May then. Apparently that's conference, and I know I'm out that whole week. So the 7th of May.
Sorry, you said May 7th.
I'm sorry?
You said you're going to extend that to May 7th?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that just gives authority to take care of what her needs are between now and then. If an order is entered in California, if you could make sure that a copy of that is forwarded to my clerk with this case number referenced, and once we receive that, we will dismiss this case, if that's prior to that time. Assuming you've got things going down there, there's probably no need for anybody to show up on the 7th. If I don't see anybody, I'll just dismiss at that time.
There is one other issue, Your Honor, and that is that they will be leaving for California in the next few days to get down there and get this started. But Bailey's belongings are at her mother's house, and they're having a hard time retrieving those belongings. Is there a way we can put something in the order that allows Bailey to retrieve her belongings?
Bailey has stated that she is okay in retrieving her belongings with the presence of her older sibling. That way there's no confrontation between me and Alicia, and she's willing to meet Alicia at her place of business to do so, or Alicia's significant other at Alicia's place of business.
Okay.
Which is the Dollar General in Rainier.
So you think you can work that out?
There's no communication with the mother.
No, it sounds like there's a methodology to take care of that. Certainly she's got the ability to get her stuff. I don't know that I have jurisdiction to order mom to do a whole lot at this point because of the jurisdictional issue. So but she certainly, as long as you can work out the details through the older sister, she's certainly got the ability to get her things.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So I'll extend the order to May 7th. Hopefully you'll have things in place by then down in California.
Yes.
And if we'll go from there.
Thank you so much.
And then, Your Honor, will you be signing the order discharging me as of today?
I will. You sent me and I did approve, I think, already your fees that you sent over. So
it was all in one order, the fees and the discharge. Yeah.
Oh, that was all in the same order. I didn't see the discharge. And you've been discharged.
I hope I put that in there.
If not, I'll put it in the temp order. I already filed that, so I don't have it.
It is in there. It was under number 3 that I was discharged as of today.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. I see See Mr.
Thank you.
Vial on this
Sasaki
case
is
is present, and Ms. Turnbull is present. Nice. Let's see what else I got on my screen here. I don't see the parents. Oh, it's Candace Jones. Yeah, Candace Jones is there. And there's Lucas. Okay, got everybody it looks like. So where are we at today on this case?
So shortly after the last hearing, we received the court visitors report from Ms. Turnbull. She served it on all parties. Thank you very much, Ms. Turnbull, for that. And since then, for my client, the respondent mother, I've been negotiating with the petitioner so as to settle as to whether as to the child support and visitation. And we're in order to respond to the full guardianship petition, which I believe is forthcoming here soon. Yeah, I would like I'd request that the next hearing be set out 4 weeks or April 23rd to allow for further negotiations and for us to object or consent to the full guardianship, which I believe should be filed soon.
Okay. Mr. Whittick, can you hear me, sir? I need to have you on. There you go.
Yes, I can.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, as I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you said you were fine with this if it would turn into adoption, but you were not if it was not, or if there was child support involved. Is that?
Something like that.
Okay. So at this point, it sounds like there's a request to continue this hearing, continue the status quo out to April 23rd. Do you wish, did we talk to you about an attorney, sir?
No, not yet.
Okay. Are you currently working?
Yes.
What would you estimate your take home income?
Probably around 2,000 a month.
Okay. And you have other family?
Yeah. What's that?
You have other family you support?
Yes, my son.
Okay. All right. Are you requesting an attorney in this case to discuss?
I haven't yet, but I could go get one.
Do you want to do that, or do you want me to look at appointing you somebody?
I mean, if you could appoint me.
I think that's probably right on the cusp, and I'm probably be inclined to appoint. So I can sign an order appointing you an attorney, and then simply set this hearing out to April 23rd. That'd give you an opportunity to talk to somebody, get some advice as to how you want to proceed. And then there'll be some additional paperwork coming for the full guardianship, so you can look at that as well.
All right.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ms. Turnbull, does that work for you on the date?
April 23rd?
Yes.
Yes, that's fine.
All right. So I'll extend that out, and then attorney for dad. And I don't have a name for you yet, sir, for the attorney, because my staff does that after the hearing. So we'll get that put together and let you know who that is.
I didn't get that.
I can't give you the name of the attorney because that's done by court administration. That'll be done after this docket. And then once we have that done, I believe we will notify you as to who that attorney is.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So extend the terms of the current order to 4/23 at 10:30. Sign an order of appointment. And then anything else on this case today?
I didn't have anything further, but
Nothing for me.
Okay. Ms. Turnbull,
I'm sorry, Ms. Lee, did you have anything further?
Oh, no, I just, as long as she stays with me, that's all I care about.
Okay.
No.
Ms. Turnbull, anything else?
No, I think Rainey's doing well. So
Okay, good.
nothing for me.
Okay, very good. All right, I'll sign those orders and we'll be back April 23rd then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon.